What's going on, guys? It's the Experienced Optimist. And today I want to talk about how familiarity breeds contempt. I would like to start this video with a quote by Charles Bukowski that perfectly encapsulates female nature. The quote goes like this: "Don't wait for a good woman. She doesn't exist. There are women who can make you feel more with their bodies than their souls. But these are the exact women who will turn the knife into you right in front of the crowd. Of course I expect this, but the knife still cuts. The female loves to play man against man, and if she is in a position to do it, there is not one who will resist. The male, for all his bravado and exploration, is the loyal one, the one who generally feels love. The female is skilled at betrayal and torture and damnation. Never envy a man his lady. Behind it all lies living hell." I want to start off with that quote because I was watching a documentary a while ago, and in this documentary it was about a man who wanted to become one of the best tailors in the UK. And this man, he always dressed very well, carried himself with integrity. And he was always the guy in the room that there was something about him that drew other people to him. But this man, he had a goal to become one of the best tailors on Savile Row in the UK, and he wanted to become the youngest tailor on Savile Row. And in the midst of trying to attain his goals, he came across this female. She was a model, and she was very beautiful. And she was instantly enamored by this guy. And to hear her talk about him, she said that he was the best dressed man at the party. He looked good. He had, as the young kids would call the day, swag. And she instantly liked this guy. And they hit it off. They started talking, and they fell in love. And it's important to note that the way she treated this guy and talked about this guy, it was similar to what I've been seeing on the YouTube videos where the young couples, they fall in love and they have nothing but positive things to say about each other. This was basically female love on display. She could say nothing bad about this guy. She loved his ambition, and she loved his goals. And she tried to help him out as much as possible. She had ideas for his talent shows, and she was being that loving girlfriend. He later married her, that we as men always dream about. And this documentary crew followed this couple essentially for 11 years. And in those 11 years, we slowly saw the transition to where they had a couple kids, I believe, and he was working hard on attaining his goals. And then you saw some of the anger and hatred start to creep in. And the woman, as we all know, we've probably all experienced this. Leave a comment down in the comment section if you experience this. What attracts the woman initially, she starts to hate later on in life, right? So she was attracted to him because he was ambitious. She was attracted to him because he always dressed well. He always carried himself with integrity. But then as he worked harder and harder to provide for the family, she started to become contemptuous of everything that he was trying to achieve. So love turned into a type of indifference, and then later on turned into rage. They started arguing all the time. And eventually she wanted to get a divorce, and they ended up getting a divorce. And this was exactly what I was talking about, how with many women, familiarity often breeds contempt. The more a woman is familiar with who you are as a man, even though she might start out helping you, most often she ends up harming you later on. And I want you guys to comment in the comment section if this has actually happened to you. So in the document, it's happened to me. In the documentary, right, they broke up They had a divorce. But of course, he always had to interact with her because they had kids. So he was doing this talent show or something like that. And he was talking to her, and then she was giving out advice. Now, in the beginning of the relationship, she would give out advice with a smile because she loved the guy. But now she was giving out advice begrudgingly. So she was saying things that he could do to improve the show, but you could tell that she wanted him to fail, right? She couldn't get over her anger for that person, for him. And I want you guys to tell me if this has ever happened to you. And that's the crazy thing about Contempt, you know. When I'm watching all these YouTube videos and I see the couples working together, they're in love, they're lovey-dovey, I know eventually this is what's going to happen to them. I know that the woman will become contemptuous later on down the line. And for most men, women want to become, they want to become superior to a man. They want to knock the man down and get him to a position to where she runs everything. And we see it 9 times out of 10. So I just want to create this video because I wanted guys to be aware of that, because most blue pill men aren't aware of that. They aren't aware of how women change over time. If you have a best buddy who you've grown up together, you may have went to the military together, you may have played sports together, familiarity doesn't breed contempt. As a matter of fact, familiarity brings the both of you together more, to where you want to work with each other more and help each other more. But with women, it's the opposite. And most of the time, it's because, you know, a lot of women aren't checked on their attitude. And I think it goes into that biological imperative that I talked about a couple videos ago. But anyways, I wanted to talk about something else real quick as well. Before I was making this video, I saw another couple on YouTube, and get this, guys. This has probably happened to you. It's happened to me as well. There was this couple, right? They were 18 years old at the time. One guy was named Abe, and his girlfriend was named, I can't remember her name. But she loved this guy, right? She loved this guy, Abe. They were 18. And Abe's father said something about, hey, do you think this lady is good enough to get married to? And he was like, I don't know, man. You know, I'm going to ask her. So he asked this lady, let's call her Maria. He asked Maria if she would like to get married to him. And this is coming from Maria. Maria said that she really loved this guy. I mean, there was something about him that just made her feel whole. But when he asked her to marry him, that scared her away, right? But get this. So then she ghosted the guy. She said, look, I want to break up with you, and I don't ever want to see you. Like, they went to the same college. She was like, I don't want to see you. So this guy did everything he could to remain scarce so he didn't have to run into this girl. And he was baffled as to, like, why she would do this. I mean, she loved him. And the thing is, she was trying to keep him on the hook. So what she would do is she would leave him little gifts in his dorm room of things that he liked, like lotion and candy bars and stuff. And she would also call him every so often out of the blue. But get this, guys. While she was doing this, she was going out riding the cop carousel. She was dating like all these guys, and she would see them around when she was on various dates with various guys. And she thought it was fate, like. But looking back now in my red pill days, I know what she's doing. She was riding the cop carousel, and she was keeping a blue pill simp on the hook too. So when it was time for her to get married, she would just hook up with a guy like him. And the funny thing about it is that Maria, her father, even liked Abe. Like, so when she was dating all these other guys, her father said, hey, you know, whatever happened to Abe? I really like that guy. And this made me think about something. Back in the day, when women were set up where they didn't go out and ride the cop carousel, do all this stuff, their father would set them up, right? So in this case, the father would would see Abe. He's a nice guy. He's like, look, I'm not going to let you go around whore it up. I'm going to set you up with this guy, and you guys are going to get married, and that's just the way it's going to be. And I thought that was kind of interesting because it would have really saved Abe a lot of heartache if that was the way it was supposed to be. And also would have helped out. She wouldn't have been going around riding the cock carousel. But anyways, just like we all know, she finished riding the cock carousel, and then she met up with Abe again, right? And of course, she's a Christian now. And she's talking about how like God led them to each other and all this other nonsense. And Abe was all too happy to then go ahead and marry her. As a matter of fact, when she was dating one guy and she had another simp, I guess he was a simp, I think. This guy paid her ticket and I think drove her to the airport to meet back up with Abe so that her and Abe could start dating again. So I just thought it was funny because generally we talk about this all the time as far as red pill wisdom. And that's what happened, man. You have the simp guy, right? You have a girl that rides the cock carousel. She keeps the simp guy on the hook. And then when she's done having all of her fun, she even mentioned that in the video. She said it worked out better this way because then she got it out of her system so that she could be with Abe. And before I was red pill, I would have been cheering for Abe. I want to be honest with you guys. I would have been like, man, Abe, he's the man. He's more romantic. He finally got with the woman of his dreams. He deserves a good woman like that. That's how I would have been thinking. And the reason why I wanted to share that with you guys is that I don't want other guys to think that way. Because the guys that do think that way generally end up in those relationships with girls like Maria. And then one month, Maria she wants to get kinky or whatever. She's feeling something come on, and then she cheats with another guy, or she may even just get a divorce, and now Abe is left high and dry. And I don't want you guys to be like Abe. But anyway, I've rambled on and on enough. If you like this video, like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Support other MGTOW channels, and I will talk to you guys later. What's going on?